We're out on Fort Peck Reservoir in northeast Montana targeting lake trout today, and I gotta say this is one of my favorite fishing opportunities through the ice in the United States, to be honest. And in the last 10 years or so, these lake trout have really gained a lot of popularity, along with the big walleyes and the big salmon and the northern pike that we all know are out here. But these lake trout are a really fun opportunity through the ice on Fort Peck.
We're up here in the dry arm on Fort Peck Reservoir looking for lake trout. Right now we're just searching. We're looking at these main breaks that come off from shallow water out into deeper water. We're looking for main lake points, humps out there. Right now we're just kind of trying to find the depth that these fish want to be in.
Fish on. Oh, first fish of the trip here. That fish just came in and crushed it. I didn't even have to do anything. Hopefully my glove doesn't blow away. Oh man, this is fun. This is fun. I'm gonna get my deucer out of there. Here we go. First laker on Fort Peck of this particular trip. We're just in the first spot trying to figure it out, and we're kind of down on the break, and I slid up. I drilled one hole right up here, kind of on top in about 60 foot of water. This feels like a good fish. There's my swivel here. We got to be getting close. This feels like a good one. Here he comes. Oh, look at this. First fish. Oh, here we go. That's how you start a lake trout trip on Fort Peck. Oh, there we go. One more look at her. That is what you come to Fort Peck for. Just a good, solid, average fish. I mean, that's a nice fish right there. We'll get her back here. That's just the first fish. And, you know, we're just getting started here. So if we can replicate that anytime soon, we might be setting the shack up right here in the first spot.
Lake trout were first introduced into Fort Peck Reservoir back in the 50s. The last stocking was a pretty small number back in 2004. I think it was about 27,000 got stocked. And since then, the lake trout, they've been thriving on their own. Their main food diet is Cisco, which the Cisco's got put into this reservoir in the early to mid 80s. And since then, it's been very self-sufficient. There's large numbers of Cisco, and that's the main food source for a lot of the fish species in here, the Chinook salmon, walleye, northern pike, even the smallmouth bass. Oh, he's hacking up a bunch of Cisco.
Tough to even see that, but he's hacking up Cisco. That is unreal. There you go.
Nice, that's a better one.
There you go.
Another Cisco coming out his mouth here.
That is so crazy. Here, yeah. Look at that. I mean, if that doesn't tell you exactly what's going on out here, we can get her back.
Nice.
But man, I tell you what, it's just a blast out here, and we've caught some nicer ones, we've hooked some nicer ones, you know, and but just the amount of action, every time you see a mark, you just get excited. But this is just, it's just crazy when you see that.
What's that? Minus the head on there, that's probably an 8-inch Cisco.
Yeah.
And it puked up 3 at least. That's all that we saw too. You know?
And it still chased you up, what, like 40 plus feet and hammered you at 90 feet of water? Man, that is so cool, man. This is so fun out here. This is so crazy.
Some of the best ice fishing you can have.
All right, one big thing out here on Fort Peck is ice safety. I just can't stress that enough. Even on a year where it's just really cold and there's all kinds of ice, Fort Peck is just the type of place that can have really variable ice. One thing I would say right off the bat when you're planning your trip, make sure you call ahead. Call up you know, to Lake Ridge, the bait shop, or just call the guide services, people that are out here every day, and get an ice report. It'll let you know where the bad spots are, the pressure ridges, or whatever. But when you're out here, you always want to be on the lookout, and you know, don't drive over any of these big, long, shallow points. You know, get out, you know, away from that shallow structure. That's going to be a tough spot. Stay away from the pressure ridges, obviously. And, you know, just look out for open spots. There's these gas pockets where it's just like bubbles of gas coming up off the bottom of the lake, and they'll just make these random holes out here. So you want to be on the lookout. Out here, we've got some fresh snow. Some of this ice structure stuff is really hard to see. So everywhere we go, if we're wondering and we see anything sketchy, or just randomly every once in a while, if we're on a long drive, just stop, drill a hole out in front of the machine, just check and make sure that the ice is staying consistent. For us, we got about 11 to 13 inches of ice out here. So if I drill a hole and it's anything less than that, I definitely want to be on the lookout. But right now, we got good information. We called ahead, and everything that we're seeing out here right now seems to be pretty good. So we're getting around here pretty good, but definitely checking ice all the time. You don't want to take it for granted.
Oh, marking one right now. Let's see if he'll go. Got him. About the same size fish. Might have a little bit more weight to him. He's got some good head shakes down there. Here's my leader. Oh yeah. Get his head in the hole here. And ooh. Yeah, that's a better one. I was just setting the rod down, getting ready to go punch another hole, and he came up, flew up, chased it probably about 30 feet off the bottom. Came up and whacked it. They sure like these spoons. Not much hesitation when they see them. You mark them and they just come flying up after them.
I just kind of want to show you what our setup is here right now. For starters, we are rocking the Jason Mitchell Elite Mac rod, 45 inches. It's definitely a stiffer rod, and it's built for those bigger fish, and it's perfect for that. I love the long cork handle as well. Just pick a reel that has a good drag, because these fish, the bigger fish, are gonna pull drag at some point. Main line, you know, 20-pound braid, so you can just really rear back and set the hook with about a 4 or 5 foot fluorocarbon leader, 20-pound. And then we're using the clam Super Leech Flutter Spoon. This spoon is perfect for lake trout. It comes with a really good hook on it. You know, the little blade that dances down there is so important, because with these trout, you just want to keep it moving all the time. Even if you're not marking one, the way I like to say it is, you know, jig like one's watching you. If they really want it, they're gonna eat it before you have a chance to do anything. I just love how these fish hit these spoons, but you gotta keep it moving, and you gotta try to play keep away on some of these fish.
Yeah, he's still sitting. Here he comes. Got him that time.
Unreal. How high did you bring him up?
Long way. That's a better fish.
All right.
Oh, that's what we're looking for there. Big head shakes, heavy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Scream and drag off. Just ripped off probably about 100 feet of line. Fishing out here a little bit deeper. We're in about 88 feet of water. First mark I've had here. Missed him on the first one, and he came back and just smoked it. All right, we got to be getting close here. Oh, there's my leader. Oh, that's a stud there. Just got to get his head up here. Oh, there we go. Oh, I had him there. Oh, he's all wrapped up. Oh, yeah. I got to watch out for that hook. Got him. Nice. That is what we're after. He was barely hooked there. Nice Fort Peck lake trout. This is what we come out here for. Probably about 26, 27 inches. All right, we're gonna send her back down the hole here. These are those up and comers coming that you get them back down there. Next time you see them, maybe it'll be pushing 33, 35 inches. Be an absolute hammer.
So moving around to get on these fish is really the name of the game for us. Right away, we were trying to break something down or find a spot that was productive that we could maybe, you know, set up the hub and fish inside and stay out of the elements. But the reality was, you know, any time that we fished in a spot for 10 or 20 minutes and we saw activity, you know, we caught those fish. The best, most active fish ate right away, and a spot never got progressively better the longer we stayed. And so the best decision for us, both for numbers and for quality, was to get into a good area, do a good job just drilling it out, you know, with different depth ranges. You drill your first line of holes and just maybe kind of figure out where some activity is and wear it out. Doing some hole hopping, 10, 15 minutes a hole seemed best for us. The active fish wanted to eat right away. They didn't even give us a chance to think about it. They just came in and crushed the jigging spoon. But if you can, come prepared to move and groove, do some hole hopping, and just make an adventure out of it and get after these spots. And that was what made us the most productive on this trip.